morning.
Yes, good morning.
So I am Joe Ntwali, a Kepler student, as well as the Kepler camp coordinator here. So I would like to ask you a few questions about education in Gihembe Refugee Camp. But before we proceed, I would like to hear a brief introduction about yourselves.
Thank you. My name's Aime Kaneza. I'm a refugee. I was born in the DRC in 1982. Means that I am 34 years old. I've studied the secondary school at GSAOB in Butare, languages, and now I am in Kepler Preparation Program.
Thank you. My name is Aime and Vincent. I am a refugee here in Game Camp, and I completed my studies in 2014 in combination of reg, literature, economics, and geography. And I'm here as a Kepler student in preparation program for admission test. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for giving us a brief introduction about yourselves. So I would like to ask you a few questions. So how was education back in DRC?
Thank you. In DRC, education was going well because we did not miss anything there. The scholarship was easy to find. We were farmers, we were agricultural people. We were studying, if someone finished secondary school, he would go to study wherever he wanted in DRC because of the means. I can add that we were studying in French, but here in Rwanda it is English.
Addition to my colleague, in DRC there was many challenges. Firstly, for the parents, they had a bad belief, so that for the pupil or the child who they hate, they sent him at school, while the child whom they love, they sent him or her in car. So for that, the education was not going well about a bad belief on our parents.
Okay, so thanks for the addition. So how has it changed when you reached here in Gihembe Refugee Camp?
Thank you. The changes were so many because after our arrival, we should continue our studies, but it was not easy because of lack of money, scholarship. For me, I can tell you that I have studied secondary school by scholarship from GRS people, GRS.
What is GRS?
GRS means Jesuit Refugee Service. But after it returned back, and our brothers who had a belief that they would go to study, completing their studies are hopeless because now if they are studying, they arrive in O level only. Even if they succeed, but there is no hope of continuing because of lack of money, and they know that there is no donors or generous people who can help them of completing their studies.
In addition to my colleague, education was changed very different. Because here in camp, in refugee camp, we reached here and they built a new school here in refugee camp, and they try to give us everything that we want, like books, pens, and uniform, so that we can study well. And also there are many differences between here, where the parents have changed their belief, so they send all children to the school without separating them. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So, can you be more specific on how it has changed for old people, youth, and kids?
Thank you. I begin uh, with kids. Kids, we have a nursery school there. For kids, there is no problem because they have porridge during morning, and then at noon they return. For youth, they study, but without hope that they will finish their studies. There is also another struggle of lack of job. Even if we finish secondary school, it is not easy to find a job. So that struggle make youth to consider to not consider education as it is, because they think themselves. They say, if I study now, what will I become? How will I find? Where will I find a job? Because of my grand brother is still jobless. So if I is asking a soap, there is also another old brother who is asking also a soap. It is a challenge. And then for universities or adults, it is very dangerous or difficult, because when you are adult, you have some responsibilities. So to mix responsibilities and studies when you are
So, you are telling us how it changed for old people. So, you can proceed.
so what I'm saying is about responsibilities of old people. And then, because old people have to plan, and without a scholarship they cannot plan, with not knowing that they have that scholarship. So if they get money, it can be easier for them to plan for their life and say, I will do this, after this it will follow like this, like this, like this.
Okay, so thank you. So, how did you manage to get your education in this challenging environment?
Thank you. I struggled, but I arrived here with my primary school, which I have finished in DRC. And then I was going to school without knowing that I would get a scholarship. By chance, those generous people came, and they paid for me scholarship. After it is 10 years ago, I did not find the way of continuing my university, and I keep quiet. Hope that maybe one day it will be like a dream to be at university, but I remain here
With hope.
with hope, because I don't know how I arrived here. It depends on how God plans.
Okay, so Vincent, tell us how you managed to get your education here.
I try to manage my education. Since we came here, we left our properties in DRC, but the organization like GRS came and helped us to get education. But for myself, I tried to study hard so as to get success. And my parents helped me to pay school fees when I was in secondary school. And me too, I know why my parent is paying a school fees, and I worked hard so that I wanted to cover that and that condition.
Okay, so thanks for sharing, Vincent. So, how do you picture the education in Gihembe Refugee Camp in the future?
Thank you. In the future, I think that it will depend on how generous people will come, because if we don't have those generous people, no education. Even now, you see that we have what you call Edra, who is in charge of in education here in the camp. But as GRIS went back, it can happen that also Edra go, and when it goes, it leave. There is no hope. But we think we still struggling, uh, praying God that many generous people come. If they come, there is a hope of studying.
In addition, for me, I see the picture in the future will be bright because I see there is integration of students in game camp with a school outside the camp. So they are trying to give a refugee a quality education, and they are trying to give. There are many organizations that will provide scholarship. For example, ADRA and other organizations. They are trying to give scholarship from the students who are going to study in secondary school. So I see in the future education will be good accordingly to that fact that shows me the future education will be good. Thank you.
So, thanks, Aime and Vincent.